That's my oven just coming to temp. Okay, I was gonna do all things breakfast today, but I happened to post a picture of a pretzel I made a few weeks ago, and people got so excited about that doggone pretzel. I figured we should make pretzels today. Okay, so I have a handy dandy mixer with a dough attachment. I have my oven preheating to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. I have lined a baking tray with parchment. You can spray it if you want, but once you try parchment, you will love it because the messes are so easy to clean up. What else? I've got my little notes here. That's pretty good. Let's get started. So in a bowl with this attachment, you want to put in 2 1/2 cups of flour. Take it out. Make it easier. 2 1/2 cups of flour. 1 teaspoon kosher salt. We'll see if this comes out. 1 teaspoon. These were so cute when I bought them. 1 teaspoon dark brown sugar. You gonna come? Yeah! And then you want 2 1/4 teaspoons rapid rice. This is the instant yeast. I put them both out here so you can see the difference. There's not much difference. It's just this one, instant, you can add right to dry and you don't have to bloom the yeast. If you just accidentally have this one, the only difference is take some of the water that you have and put it in a little dish and pour the yeast on top of it, mix it in, and let it bubble for about 10 minutes. You have to bloom the yeast. So that's really the only difference in those. All right, and there you go. So we've got our yeast. We're done with you guys. And then we have 1 cup of warm water. And whenever you're blooming yeast, you want warm water too. So let me see. Jim's gonna tell me what this says. What does that read? 102? Perfect. Because yeast, you don't pantomime. Yeast loves 95 to about 105. Because you don't wanna kill the yeast. So let's just have all those things together. We're going to add the water. Put the bowl on. Snap her in place. Lift that up. And this goes for 6 to 8 minutes, and I have it on about medium low. I'm not trying to beat the tar out of it. It's about just under a 2 setting on this KitchenAid. And that's 6 to 8 minutes, and then scrape the bowl down once because you'll want to get all those bits of flour that stick to the side. So maybe after a minute, scrape it down. And then you're going to keep this going until you get a nice soft dough, kind of like this. Now, once you have the dough, you're going to put it in an oiled bowl. I think I put a tablespoon of oil in the recipe, but just basically enough to make sure it's not going to stick. You take the dough, put it in the pre-oiled bowl, cover it with a towel, and let it rest for 40 minutes. And then when it's done, it's nice and fluffy. It's got some good air in it. Take this, I'm going to shake it a little bit. I don't want to work with it too much. Pat it down into a nice disc because you want to cut this into 8 pieces. Yeah, it only makes 8. That's what I said after I made these the first time. I went, that's not enough. You need to make a double batch. Roll off my hands for a second. Okay, we're back. We're back with, we're doing soft pretzels, and these are gonna be everything pretzels that I really love. We've got the dough made, we have it rested, we're rolling it out now, and I got a little discombobulated. To be honest, I went, roll, that's not a pretzel. What the heck am I doing? I had to remind myself. So basically you take, this is the last one. I knew you didn't wanna watch me do all 8. You take the dough, this is that we've divided it into 8 pieces, and we're taking this dough and rolling it. And what you're doing is pressure, just light pressure, but firm, where you're rolling the dough to the outside. So you're making a rope. And you want it about 30 inches long. This board's only about 24. But see how these are? You just don't want them to be big blobby things. So get it thin enough. And see how that pulled back? That's because the gluten strands, they fight you. It's like a boxing match. You have to beat up the gluten, stretch it, but it fights back. And then you let it rest, and it feels better, and it goes, ah. Like you can tell, this is the first one I rolled. It's already starting to rise a little bit, which is good. That's what we want. Now, all right, to roll. It's a U shape. And then at the very ends, I'm a left-hander, so I go left over right, then left over right again, then bring it back down on itself. Pretzel. Yay! All right, so this is this phase. Now, what we have back here, and I'm gonna bring it up. Let me move some stuff. Put the pretzels there. Make sure I'm not gonna burn myself. Big back gloves. I had this water boiling. It's 5 cups. And this is kind of what makes pretzels pretzels. 5 cups of water, a 1/3 cup of baking soda. Did you hear that? And then you want to stir that to dissolve all that baking soda. Get it dissolved in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bathe the pretzels. What the baking soda does is it kind of causes the dough on the outside to gelatinize, so it gets soft and jelly-like. But then they will cook up super brown and delicious, hopefully. Now, after I rolled these out, you let them rest for 5 to 10 minutes because, like I said, that's the first one. This is the last one. You want to give them a little time for that gluten to go, oh, that's okay, after his boxing match. But right now, what we're going to do is we'll take that outer one and gently put him in the water. I think I have room for 2. Yes, get over there. And you just want to make sure that these are submerged, and you're going to want to wait 1 minute for each one. So I tell you what, we're going to take another short break because I know you don't want to watch me do all these.